Howdy, everybody. It's your pal Misty. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. It is time for your Thursday night live stream. I'm going to give you some updates on the week. And then, as mentioned in the last few live streams, we're going to talk a little bit about the spoon theory, which may be new to you, maybe something you've heard of before. And to be honest, based off of the week I've had, it's kind of a relevant topic. So, thank you all for being here. Let me get adjusted and comfortable. Thank you, Cheryl, for being here. I appreciate it. Always here, ready to moderate the chat for me. Hey, Kenneth. Well, there's he saying hello to me. Hello, Kenneth. Lori is here. Hello, Lori. Tell Tim we said hi. Hey, Mary. Thanks for joining. Jess is here. Hey, Jess. Thanks for stopping by the live stream. I appreciate it. Did I alert my mom that I went live? This is a normal every week live stream. Now, she hasn't said howdy yet, but that's not on me this week, Jess. Thanks for looking out, though. If it's my regular, I don't have to say nothing. Did she tell me she wasn't going to be here? I don't think she said she wasn't going to be here. I don't have any messages recently, so. But thank you for being here. I saw that Tasharia had shouted out the live stream before it started as well. I appreciate that very much. All the support I can get is helpful. Oh, it's Thursday already? There she is. We found her, Jess. I don't want to be getting in trouble anyway. I mean, it's daily pretty much, but I do try to not get in trouble. Sometimes I try to get in trouble. You're here. Yay, Mama's here. Nobody panic. Hey, Marcy, thanks for stopping by. I hope you start feeling better, can get back into a good groove. Oh, I was just gonna make a little bit of fun of you to share you actually, because I was just saying how you had shouted out the live stream and I appreciate it. And then I was gonna say, but I also haven't seen Sherry say howdy. Howdy. We're just gonna make up a new word. I think that was hello and howdy together. So anyway, thanks for being here. I figured you probably got busy after you had the live stream up. I do that sometimes. I'll click on somebody's live, yours, in fact, sometimes in the morning. I'll click on your live stream. I'll kind of say, howdy to everybody a couple of minutes before it starts. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to go do this thing real fast. And then I'm like, what is happening? And then it's, we're live. She's live. She'll just be on my phone somewhere randomly in my house as I'm walking around getting ready. And let's see. Okay. Everybody is saying hello, good evening. Thank you for being here. Wonderful. Happy Thursday. I hope y'all are doing well. We had fourth winter this week. I don't know. I don't know. I did not know that was going to happen. I wrongly thought that it was time that I could get rid of my winter clothes. And then, was it Monday that it got real cold? I think so. I want to say it was like the first day of the week. I mean, I just put on some shorts and a tank top, put on dog's harnesses, walked right outside. We did a quick little circle right outside the gate and then came back in and put on some more clothes because that was not enough. It was so cold. I was like, what? And then I hear people are getting snow up north again. It's crazy. My people in South America are getting close to 100 degrees. The swap is just weird. I don't know. It made me randomly think of Tracy in Australia. Maybe she'll stop by tonight. I seem to summon her to live streams, but I haven't summoned her in a while. But she's in Australia, where not only are they like so many hours and 30 minutes, which is just weird, but their seasons are totally opposite. Like right now they're in fall, I guess. I don't know. Like it's so strange to me and so interesting how just a couple of 100 miles can make a huge difference. And when you're in like North America, South America, I mean, we're huge, right? Like people, I like to see all those like Brits in America. I think it's super funny and I could listen to them talk forever. But there was one the other day. He was like, "Y'all keep saying that Americans are not well traveled. Stop saying that. You can be to Germany in this time, France in this time, Scotland in this time." He's like, some of them can't even get to another state that fast. He's like, they are well traveled in their own little area, which is huge. I was like, that really kind of is a good point. Like, we travel long distances and stay here. Sometimes, I mean, if you're going to like Hawaii, it's even longer. It's technically still in America. So, anyway, I'm way off on a ramble tangent already. Let's see. Where are we? Yeah, Howley. Trademark. Oh, mom says she's been sleeping until 7:30. She's got to set that alarm. That daylight savings time snuck up and tricked you, mama. You got to get up at 6. Get up at 6. Get ready for your day. Do your workout. It's cold in Rhode Island, Kenneth. I bet it is. Yeah, a lot of people up north were saying that they're getting snow again and everything. Sherry says they said the last freeze date should be March 18th, but I thought they were wrong just because last week was so nice. I mean, I guess we should listen. I had gotten, I mean, in the winter, well, at some point in the winter, I stop asking how cold it's going to be because it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold enough. I need sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Like, I just know that before I get up and go outside. But in this change time, like, I need to know what to wear when I go outside to walk the dogs. And so I guess I need to set that routine back on my Alexa where she tells me the temperature, because I was shocked. I had no idea it was going to get cold. I had not paid attention. And you're right. It had been so lovely in Texas the week before. It's cold in Louisiana. It's only 55. That's so crazy. It's just a few hours to the east. We're like almost 80 degrees here. We're 77 degrees right now, it says. So it's 33 in the chilly Minnesota. Was yesterday the first day of spring? I don't know. Was it? I don't know. When is the first day of spring? That's a great question. Does anybody know? If you do, go ahead and put it in the chat. Sorry, I wanted to. Oop. There we go. Oh, love the Betty Boop shirt. Thank you, Cheryl. I had it in the donate pile, and then I have a problem with sleeves. Like, for the most part, all the extra skin that I have doesn't bother me. And like, from looks wise, I don't care. But physically, most of the time it doesn't bother me. If I wear compression gear, like I wear long compression shorts almost down to my knees and then around my stomach. So I have high-waisted shorts that I wear. And then of course I have sturdy bras to help keep it kind of still. But like, my workout wear doesn't have sleeves. And I find that shirts, the sleeves, why? I know if you have a normal arm with muscle, it would be really cool that it's so tight around this middle part of your arm. But this middle part of my arm is huge. It just is. What can I say? I've lost half of my body. And some of it's still hair and skin under my arm. I don't mind, but like, it's so terribly uncomfortable because it just rubs and irritates, and I just it's no good anyway. So I was going through this phase the other day where I was just donating all these shirts because I never wear them, and I never wear them because of the sleeves. But I wanted to wear that one that my mom had gotten me for my birthday, or was it Christmas? No, it's my birthday. That said, "I'm fine, it's fine, everything's fine," that I wore, I don't know, a week or two ago on a live stream. But again, I couldn't even hardly get it on because of the sleeves were so small. My arms didn't fit through them. Like, I couldn't even, anyway, whatever. So I cut them sleeves off. And then I was thinking, oh, I could cut sleeves off of other shirts. They're mine. I'm like, I'm never going to wear them anywhere except for live streams and in my house. I mean, like, I'm going to wear them, but like, what does it matter? I don't care. So I actually just did a video recently about kind of stuff like that, about some of the stuff that she's not doing anymore because she wasn't doing it for her. She was doing it for everybody else, and she realized she don't care. So she's not doing them things anymore. Now, I have a bunch of things like that. And so I just cut a whole bunch of my shirts, cut the sleeves off. I've been wearing them all week. It's great. I feel like I've tripled my wardrobe again because I just never wore them because they're so uncomfortable. I just kind of, especially with the women's shirts, like the women's shirts have a nicer fit because they're thinner in the middle. And even though I'm still thick, I am thinner in the middle. So they do have a nicer fit, a nicer look, but dadgum, they come up into the armpit. Why are the sleeves? Get off of the topic, Misty. You're fine. Hello. Thank you for being here on this Thursday evening. Yeah, I see us all saying the weather, but I don't think I ever got the weather to work. I don't even know if I got Nightbot working right anymore. We haven't even tried it in the last few weeks. Cheryl says, yes, she thinks it was the first day of spring. It's 61 in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. 36 in Boston. You had a fire drill at school. Oh, no, that's the worst. Oh, the 19th was the first day of spring. Huh. I had no idea. I feel like was nobody excited about it? Because I feel like nobody said anything. And like Easter's next weekend. Like, can y'all believe that? It was like Mardi Gras was so early, but that's because Easter's early. It's so early. Everything's just happening boom, 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 all of a sudden. And it's still cold outside. Kind of says it's in the 40s in Rhode Island. Oh, yep. See, Cheryl tried it. Thank you, Cheryl, for trying. I don't know what's wrong with the Nightbot. I got to work on it again. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, so updates for the week. Let's talk about the ENT stuff. So I went to the ENT. He did a scope. He did a culture, gave me steroids, antibiotics. I'm finally done with the steroids. Yay, super excited about that. Those things make me feel a little bit crazy. And you know what? I got to say, for the first time in a long time, because I'm not a binge eater, that's just not, I know several people here have binge eating disorder. I do not have that. However, I can relate to that in the last few weeks because I ate so much more than I needed to. The first several days, especially. Like I had gone to Amy's. I think I talked about this. I had gone to Amy's and had like a huge dinner with fajitas and nachos. And then the next morning I had a huge breakfast at Golden Corral. I wanted even more. I was like, I could eat more. I told Mary, but I made myself stop. I think I had lunch later that day at like 2 or 3. Like I was just ravenous from the steroids. So between that and all the water weight, now it's not all water weight, but I was right around 175 right before I went to the doctor. And then the highest that I saw on the scale, I didn't weigh every day, but every couple of days, just because I wanted to track it so that I could talk about it. Got up to 192.4. Woo! And I can feel it. The bloat is real. And a couple of them pounds are Misty ate so much food. But it was interesting to me because, it's one of those things when you're not a certain way, it's kind of hard for you to understand because you're just like, I get it. I don't understand. Like, I don't feel that, right? So like, I understand binge eating. I don't have that problem. So I don't have the inability to turn off the I'm hungry. I meant the I'm full. Normally I get full and then I stop eating. And I'm blessed to be that way, right? I'm glad I don't have that disorder because I was having to tell myself, stop eating. Why are you still eating? You have had plenty of calories. Stop eating. And I did. And so I had that control, which is, again, nice that I don't have that issue. But it did make me realize, like, oh, I kind of get it. Well, like you could get stuck in that. You're just doing it. You're just doing it. Why? We're not real sure. Check in is the whole point, right? But yeah, it just was interesting how some of these pounds are definitely eaten. They're fat pounds. And then I feel like some of them I've lost muscle because I have been exhausted. He put me on, so I was on steroids. I'm done now. I don't know if I said that. Yesterday was my last day on the steroids. So today is day one with no steroids. But I am on antibiotics. I'm on antibiotics specific to the infection that I had to make sure that it kills it. But it's one of those medicines like you take these when nothing else has worked. And they're tough. And I talked about, they said I couldn't do any strenuous activity or lift anything more than 15 pounds. And on Thursday, when I talked about that, I thought it was kind of funny. And then the tiredness hit, and I was like, "Don't worry, I can't even build up to strenuous activity right now." And it's just sort of been getting a little bit more and more every day. This morning, I walked with Amy because I walk with my best friend Amy on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I was exhausted. I got so many heart rate minutes this morning, and normally I do not. So it was not just that my brain felt like we were working super hard. My body, for some reason, was working super hard. And I know what it is. It's these antibiotics and the steroids are kind of breaking down my system to build it back up again. So I just keep telling myself that the bad days make the good ones even better, because they do. But the bad days are still kind of hard. Hey, Will, happy Thursday. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you stopping by the live stream this evening. So I've just been real tired. It's kind of worked out for me in the long run, because like this weekend we were afraid it was going to rain. So Mary and Natasha came to my apartment and we walked here, and Natasha had been real sick. She was better, but she had been real sick. So she wasn't fully recovered either. So we just did one lap around, which I was grateful for. And I was intentionally walking slow because I knew she was still recovering, but I needed it too. I've just been whooped. It's like, it's so different than how I normally feel. It's not like a brain fog. It's not that kind of tired. It's just like, I guess it's like I'm physically tired. Like I'm just so tired. That I can't explain it. So I don't even think I could lift 15 pounds too many times. So lifting more than 15, they don't got to worry about that, because it's getting heavier and heavier the more I take them. So I'll be done with those next Monday. And then I'm hopeful that my body will, be back a little bit better and stronger. I was super congested on Monday. I felt miserable. It was probably the worst day that I've had so far. I still do have a little bit of congestion, but it's been raining all day since my walk this morning. Like, it literally didn't stop until probably an hour ago. It's just been dark and gloomy and rainy all day. So that does not help with congestion that I still have in my system. I know that. And it's probably some allergies too, with all the pollen still being kicked around by the rain. But overall, you do what you can. So is that everything for the week before I get into a little bit about what I was going to talk about? I think so. I don't think anything else really big or exciting. Oh, I realized though, I did not have a video this week, guys. I don't know if y'all realize, because it hasn't been, well, I've been pretty consistent for the last month or two, but I was like, oh no, I didn't have an energy drink because they came to the house. I just had a cup of coffee because I was here at home. So I made coffee. But I didn't have an energy drink review. I need, anyway, sorry about that. I'll have one for next week. I need to just do one anyway. I have so many stocked up now. I might you know what? Maybe I should be treating myself this week to more caffeine. Maybe I'll get a couple lined up. I haven't actually tried that now that I think about it. I got so used to not having energy drinks. Anyway, I'm just tired. But overall, I've had a good week. I've been doing what I can. I've been resting a lot. I mean, I'm still coming close to 10,000 steps most days, but I am actively resting, taking time to not move my body, like physically resting, not just mentally resting. Like, because sometimes I'll say I'm resting because I'm like watching something, but I'll also be doing four other things, walking around, pacing, just doing random movements, like bouncing on the jumpaline, which I have also been limiting. I have not been allowing myself to jump on the jumpaline too much because it does exhaust me, and I'm already exhausted. So Mary says it's 66 and windy. It's like 10 degrees colder where you are. Has the weather updated since the last time I checked? Okay, yeah, it's colder here now too. It must not have updated yet. Or it must have just started dropping. Anyway, whatever. So it kind of leads into how I've been feeling this week with not having much energy is something that I ran across a few years ago. So a little bit of my background for those of you who may not know, not only have I lost a lot of weight, but I have an autoimmune disease. It is a skin condition called hidradenitis suppurativa. You don't got to look it up. It's gross. It's basically boil like lesions on certain areas of my body. And there's all kinds of studies and talks about what causes it, what doesn't. And actually, my mom asked me the other day if I had had any trouble in the last few months. And I was like, you know what? No, I haven't. I haven't had a flare in a minute. And she was like, wonder if it's because your hormones are going. I was like, I don't know. It could be because they did say that would help. So we'll see. But it's very painful. Some of the lesions, like on my legs, will get to be the size of like a softball. So if you can imagine a pimple and then make it the size of a softball attached to the nerves in your legs. And so it does a lot of things to your body. One is basically what happens is my body thinks something is attacking it. So it sends all of the white blood cells and all of the things to the infected area. And then every time they would culture it, it comes back with nothing. It's clean. That took a long time to get a diagnosis, to be really honest, because at first it was just because I was fat, I was uncleanly, I had ingrown hairs. There are all these different things that just weren't ever true. So I finally got a diagnosis and learned a lot about it. That's part of why I've tried so many different diets, including like I was raw vegan and then went vegan after that, and then vegetarian after that, and pescatarian, and then now I do more of a keto, and that's the one that finally has worked for me, but none of it has ever really helped the HS. That's what we call it for short, HS for the acronym. So it gives me flu-like symptoms because even though I don't have an infection, my body is fighting for its life. And for a long time, the remedy to that was to put me on really strong antibiotics like I'm taking now. They would put me on, Bactrim was their favorite, the sulfur medication. I remember the first few times I took it, I was like, I feel like I'm going to die. And he said, if you don't take it, you might, because they assumed that I had a staph infection or something that's called MRSA. I don't have that. I never did have that. I have hidradenitis suppurativa. So as my body believes it's fighting this infection, it would just wear me out. And then they rupture, they open, or sometimes the ones on my legs, like I would have to go and have them, they'd use a scalpel and I'd get a little incision and drainage is what they call it, a little IND. You have to sign for it. You have to go to an emergency room or like an urgent care clinic. Your regular doctors can't do it because it's considered an operation. Um, so then you have that large open wound healing, right? So you're just really tired all the time, and it's hard to function. So one of the things that I heard or read about in one of the groups was the spoon theory. So I wanted to read a little bit about it, and then I kind of wanted to talk about it because it's not just for autoimmune diseases, right? The concept or the principle of it. So I have the Wikipedia page pulled up, so I'm just going to read from it. I normally don't read to y'all, I know, but I'm going to read from it just because it makes the most sense to do that, and then I'll talk about it in my own words. But the spoon theory is a metaphor describing the amount of physical and or mental energy that a person has available for daily activities and tasks, and how it can become limited. It was coined by U.S. writer and blogger Christine Marizadinho. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. In 2003, as a way to express how it felt to have lupus, which is another autoimmune disease. She said, it says, explaining the viewpoint in a dinner, she gave her friend a handful of spoons and described them as units of energy to be spent performing everyday actions, representing how chronic illness forced her to plan out days and actions in advance so as to not run out of energy. The metaphor has since been used to describe a wide range of disabilities, mental health issues, forms of marginalization, and other factors that might place an extra and often unseen burden on people living with them. So that's just the little opening information about the spoon theory, right? So it was a blogger with lupus, and there's different forms of lupus as well. But one of the things that she was trying to explain was how she didn't have as much energy as she used to, or some days were harder than others. And so she explained it to her friend by using what she called the spoon theory. So basically, what she did was she gave her friend a bunch of spoons and she says, okay, this is your energy for today. And her friend is like, okay. She's like, so what's the first thing you do when you wake up? She's like, well, I get up and I do a workout. She's like, okay, that'll be a spoon. And she took a spoon, and it's like, and then she just kept going throughout the day. Like, I'm going to make breakfast, spoon, please. I'm going to do this, spoon, please. And then she got to dinner. She didn't have any spoons. And so she's like, so what do you do? You're all out of energy. You have no spoons. What do you do? So it still strikes me now, but it really struck me then as well, because one, I was already not in good shape. I was already over 300 pounds, fighting off an infection my body didn't really have, even though you couldn't have told my body that. Healing multiple large open wounds at a time. And then before my hysterectomy, as y'all know, I almost died. So I lived in a townhome where my bedroom was upstairs, and then my living room, dining room, and kitchen were downstairs. And there were nights that I had to bear crawl up the stairs and pause halfway, sometimes even twice, just to make it up the steps at night. And then there were some nights I just slept on the couch because there was no making it up the steps that night. I was all out of spoons. Cheryl says she spent all of her spoons already today. Well, you're here, Cheryl, so I appreciate you giving me one of them. That means a lot. You can go to bed right after this, girl, okay? So, I mean, I have to joke. I can't help it. It's me. But the topic is really a serious one, and it's an interesting one because, one, again, it's not just for an autoimmune. They talk, it can be for mental health and for lots of different things. But when it comes to just health and wellness overall, right, I think we all kind of can run into that, where the thing with the spoon theory that's also important to realize is, let's say right now, my everyday spoons, I got 25. I have 25 spoons every day. I can budget them spoons. I know exactly how I'm going to use them. I can plan ahead. I got this. Baby, 25 spoons a day. Let's go. Let's get it. And then I got put on antibiotics, and then I had 10 spoons. Well, wait, hold on. What do you mean I don't have as many spoons today as I had yesterday? It was just yesterday. Yesterday I had 25. You want me to do with only 10 today? And those are the days that come up where you have to make decisions and you have to determine what's going to best serve you. What are you going to use your spoons for? Right? And I had seen something, I think on Instagram. There's a short, but it caught my attention. I don't even remember who said it or if it was even anybody that I know. But I don't think it was anybody I know. I think it was something random that came through, but they were talking about, they basically said that discipline wasn't the most important thing. And I was like, I disagree right up front. So let me listen, because sometimes, if you listen to one part, you don't get the whole story. And they were talking about that discipline is very important and you need the discipline. But if you don't have adaptability, what's going to happen when your spoons go down to 10? And that, of course, is more than just fitness, but that's one thing that I want to use a spoon on because it helps my mental health. I'm giving a spoon every day to some type of physical movement. Now, it might not be weights. This afternoon, we had a kettlebell workout because Coach does live streams on Tuesday and Thursday. And I only used my 15s, which normally I would have been using my 25s. And about halfway through most of the workouts, we just put it down. It felt real heavy and unnecessary today, right? But I wanted the movement and I liked the feeling of weight, which might be hard to describe if you don't get that. But it felt good mentally and physically to do it to a point. And then I'm like, well, we're not using all our spoons for it. We're just going to give it a half a spoon. Right. And sometimes what you have is the half a spoon. Half a spoons count. It's our own theory. But you know what I'm saying? Like, the point is sometimes if you normally give 2 spoons to a workout, today you can give a fourth a spoon. Do you want to use that fourth a spoon for it? I do. I'm still going to use that fourth a spoon. Because it's important enough for my mental health to want to do that. But I thought that was really interesting because I think they're right. I think part of the problem that not only I have, but that a lot of people have when it comes to change is let's talk about discipline for just a second. Oh, hey, Aretha. Aretha says she's still at work, wanted to say hi. You'll catch the replay. I appreciate that, Aretha. I love my replay gang. Hey, Camille. Hey, Coach. Who else? Hey, Celine. Hey, replay gang. Hey, Jocelyn. And unless any of y'all are here and just not chatting, I'll see you on my replay. Anyway, so I thought it was very interesting, and sometimes things are randomly profound to me, and then it makes me think a lot about them. But I think that's kind of true because I would say that I am a very disciplined person, but I'm also a very structured person. I work out at 6:30. Either that's with Coach or that's walk with Amy, or if neither of them are available, I'm still working out at 6:30. Well, what happens if something shows up and I can't work out at 6:30? Do I not work out? Because that's my workout time. So I'm disciplined to do it. But then what if something happened and I couldn't? Are you adaptable? Can you decide when and where you want to use your spoons on any given day? And it's a lot, right? It's not an easy choice. It's not an easy decision. And one thing that I noticed I mean, I love to help, right? Y'all know that. I love to help. Even though people scare me, I love people. But I was giving a whole bunch of my spoons to other people, and they surely didn't need them, probably even want them some of the times. And some of the times they just dadgum didn't deserve them. And yet here I was giving them my extra spoons when I didn't have any extra. I didn't even have enough. So, where are you putting your energy? Where are you putting your mental focus? How are you using your spoons? Because it's a lot about what we, what we do, what we say, what we think, the power of positive thinking. Coach had talked about this study, and they were talking about like the 5 best things for longevity, and number 1 was being positive. Like, even more than working out and eating, number 1 was being positive. And I've been talking with my team. I actually chatted with Amy a little bit about it this morning, but I've been talking with my team over the last month about perception, especially in the workplace, right? Especially virtually. And I just kind of started thinking about perception in general, right? We all have our own perceptions of what people think about us. And if you've been here any length of time, you've heard me say what you think about me is none of my business. And I was kind of explaining that. And for me, so I thought I'd explain it here as well. The reason that I say that is not that I don't care what people think about me, but what a lot of us do, and you can say if you're guilty or not. Maybe you're not. Hopefully you're not, but maybe you are. I think a lot of us are, is we think, oh, they're going to think this. Oh, people think I'm mean. People think I'm fat. People think I'm not funny. People think I'm not smart. But who told you that? Did someone ever tell you that? In some cases, yeah, maybe. That was that person's perception. But what it does is when you're thinking all of these negative things that you're worried if other people are thinking about you, you're just still telling yourself negative things that probably aren't even true. So what you think of me is none of my business. If you'd like to tell me what you think, I'd be happy to hear it. That's different. How you perceive is a perception. It can also be a good one. You can think people think you're great. You can think people think you're smart. You can think people think you're funny. Right? And there are a lot of people out there who think they're great and think they're smart and think they're funny. I think that about myself. I've always said I don't really know why y'all think that, but a lot of y'all say you do. And I'm not going to say that you don't because you've said it, right? It's not that I'm perceiving it. I've been told these things. And so I'm sure a few of you have been called fat, ugly, stupid, right? But that's that person's perception. It doesn't make it a fact. So where are you spending your spoons? Who are you spending your spoons on? And is your brain also tricking you into thinking more negative thoughts about yourself? Like I said recently, I had another thunderstruck moment with Coach where she was talking about being positive, what we were just talking about. And I know I talked about it briefly, but it's still very impactful to me how the mindset change, right? Where I kept telling Pete to shut up. I kept telling him, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, just shut up. Stop talking to me. Stop. When what I really need to do is just outshine him. I need to be louder than him in the positive so that the negative doesn't even get in or get heard. It's a process. I'm a work in progress. um, but I'm working on it. So know that some days you're not going to have 25 spoons. Some days you may only have 10 spoons. You're still going to get through the day. You can still be disciplined, but can you be adaptable? And I've always said, modify, adapt, overcome. And I still think that's true. It's not the same for everybody. It's not the same for anybody. Let me clarify. It's not the same for anybody. On some level, everything you do is a modification that fits you. And sometimes it takes us a long time to figure it out. And then sometimes as you age and your hormones change, your lifestyle changes, you have to modify and adapt even more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. I am on it to share you. Yes, girl. Yes. Let's get it. Let's get it. Say it. We will get through it because we will. You'll get through the day. But be careful about where you're spending your spoons. Be mindful that with discipline comes need for adaptability. Like I said, that's how I look at it. And then on the flip side, be careful of whose spoons you're taking. Because they may be willing to give them up to you, but it doesn't always mean that they have them to give. Sometimes you do have an extra spoon and you can give it to them just by giving them a kind word or encouragement or, doing something for them if it's someone close to you in proximity, right? Like you can share your spoons. If you want to. If you have the ability and if you have the spoons, because some days you will and some days maybe you won't. But where are you going to put your priorities? Are you going to be able to modify whatever is needed so that you can adapt and overcome and be all of the great things that you should want to be, even if you're too scared to believe it or say it out loud? People think it's, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but in the past, you would never hear me saying that I was great. You just wouldn't. And now I think it's silly to even say out loud, but dadgum, I kind of believe it. I'm kind of great. I'm great. I'm doing really well. I'm doing so many things to make this the happiest, healthiest life. And I'm proud. I'm modifying, I'm adapting, and I'm overcoming. I'm monitoring my spoons on days like today when I didn't have enough spoons for the workouts I wanted to do. We didn't do as many workouts. We put that kettlebell down. We rested in between call. I took a call from my recliner just so that I didn't even have to expend the energy of sitting up in a chair. Like, you figure out how to do it because you can and you're worth it. We're not going to cry about it, everybody. I'm just saying life is hard sometimes. Sometimes life is real easy. But it's still yours to live every day to the best of your ability. And so today, if you're like Cheryl and you're done with your spoons and you took time and you gave one of them spoons to me, man, I appreciate it. I really do. I love y'all and I thank y'all for being here. It's a lot because I know it's a lot because I've been there, I've been through it, and it can be exhausting. Do it again tomorrow. If you're blessed to wake up tomorrow, do it again tomorrow. That's really what it is every day. Every day I wake up and I thank God. Give me one more day to shine. Because you can. And he wants you to. I want you to. I'll shine your light. And then we can amplify others and get all our flashlights shining together. Boy, howdy. Watch us come. So, thank you very much for being here. I'm going to start to wind it down and say goodnight. I'm going to check in with the chat because I was on a roll. Let's go back. Let's see. Okay. Whoa. Okay, here we are. Oh, Lori says she loves it. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I thought it was a great analogy years ago when I heard about it, and it made so much sense. Cheryl used to give too many spoons away. Hey, Deanna's here. Thanks for being here, Deanna. Hey, Denise. Thanks for joining, Denise. I'm the worst, guys. I've known of Denise for like a year or two, and I just finally went to subscribe to her channel. If you'd like a good haul, first one's great. I'm gonna have to go check more of your videos out, Denise. I'm so sorry. To share you, don't hurt me. Y'all haven't checked her out yet, but we're together. We're there now. Cheryl says she's slowly crushing it, blooming in it, adapting every day. Yeah, yell it from the rooftop, Will. We are worth it. We are worth it. Mama says you always said you were born to suffer. Glad you changed your mindset. Yeah, I did think that because I was suffering. And a lot of that was my own doing. And that's just the truth of it. It took me time to figure that out. And that's just part of my story too, right? So yeah, that's the key, is that you're worth it. You're worth it, and you can absolutely do it. Can you do it like me? No. Can I do it like you? Also, no. You have to modify what works for you, even in physical activities. You have to modify what works for you. Adapt. You have to be adaptable. You have to, when things don't go the way you want, when you only have 10 spoons, how can you adapt? How can you prioritize? How can you still make this your best day possible? Even if the energy level or the mental clarity or whatever it is isn't there like it normally is. So, oh, hey, Ron. I was actually just wrapping it up for the evening, Ron. I'm low on spoons myself, guys, this evening. So, I appreciate y'all being here. I'll try to remember to do a video for next week, maybe more, because maybe caffeine, couldn't hurt anything. Sometimes when you're low on spoons, maybe a little caffeine jolt to give you a little half a spoon back. But that's going to do it for tonight, guys. I really do appreciate y'all being here and, having me go on a little tear there. I know it wasn't much of a conversation, more of just a one-sided, this is what I think about it. And like I said, I know it's hard. It's still hard. Today's hard for me. It's been a long week. I'm ready to have some energy back. I don't want to wake up at an energy level of a 2. It's not fun. I remember that feeling and I don't enjoy it. But it's going to make the 10 feel so much better. So that's going to do it for this evening, guys. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you didn't, subscribe if you know how, and comment down below. Have you ever heard of the spoon theory? Is it something for you? And are you ready to modify, adapt, and overcome? Until next time, I'll see you real soon. Good night, guys. Have a great weekend.